city health plan options. Yes, hello everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Rebecca Grill, I'm the city administrator. I'm joined by Alex Vaudry from Horton Group and Peggy Steno, our finance director. As the committee's aware, we've been before you several times in the past few months regarding this option to provide a Medicare Advantage plan for our post-65 retirees. One of the things that is before the council tonight is a resolution for consideration to adopt and have us move forward. In the resolution, there's a list of 13 items that are benefits that we believe this program would be providing for the retirees as well as the city. Some of those things include a broad nationwide network, a savings of over $1,600 a year, and addition of podiatry services for the retirees that most of them do not have. I'm going to turn this over to Alex so he can give you more of the details on this and where we are right now, but those were some highlights I wanted to communicate as we get started.
Thank you. So I wanted to start with a brief overview of what you've already heard, I believe, at the March 6th meeting when Rayanne from the Horton Group was here. And some of the highlights also, overlap with what Rebecca just said, but Humana has offered a 100% plan for medical service, so there are no co-payments, no deductibles, and no co-insurance for services. Humana recognizes a broad and passive network, so roughly 95% of all providers in the United States will be covered in this new network. Humana has opened their prescription drug formulary to include at least 2 approved medications in every therapeutic class. This does include lifestyle medications, so this is a drug program that is richer than the Medicare Part D program itself, which I think is a great value add. Humana offers a multitude of additional services, including Go365, which is their wellness program, Silver Sneakers, and much more. Humana is fully recognized carrier across the globe, giving retirees comfort in their coverage, and Humana has offered a dedicated customer service team to the city of West Allis and their retirees. Additionally, we put together this page with the green highlights, and essentially what this shows you is all of your retiree breakdowns and certain plan designs and how it will match up against the Humana plan design. Overall, the vast majority of things that are covered today will be covered under the new plan at either the same or better price for retirees. The one difference being that the RX copays, those are increasing in a lot of different categories. Tier 1 is now $12, Tier 2 would be $25, Tier 3 would be $35, and specialty medications would have a 5% coinsurance with a maximum up to $75. So while these copays may be higher than what an individual retiree is paying today, we are hoping that they will be offset by the premium savings. And 2, a lot of drugs that are in tiers 2 and tiers 3 will now be covered under tier 1 in the Humana program. So even though the copays are increasing, we're hoping those tiers come down to help reduce costs. So with that, I'd like to open it up to any questions that you may have about our recommendation or any of the programs that Humana has to offer. Is there anything else you'd like me to cover?
Peggy could maybe go over some of the rate comparisons. That's okay.
So I think the best thing for us to look at would be the big sheet. It lays out everything. Basically, today we have a fully insured plan in place. For a single person, that's $744, and you can see the 50-50 split. All of these are 50-50 splits, with the city paying half and the retiree paying half. Under a Medicare Advantage plan that Alex and Rebecca just described, we go from $744. Oh, okay. We go from $744 per month for a single over 65 down to $479.76. Premium savings per month is $132.12, both on the city's behalf as well as the retirees' behalf, just shy of $1,600 per year. And then really the other details are just the cost of the plan right now. As you know, we've talked about a number of times, the loss ratio right now under our plan is approximately 136% for retirees. And then over on the right-hand side, I just did a little rate projection. Right now, Humana's average rates are about a 10% increase per year. I said, okay, what if it's double that? What if it's the worst case scenario? And I took us out 5 years. And in 5 years, with just one single 10% rate increase on our current rates, we would be over what Humana would be at that point. So I just wanted to make sure you understood it's not just a 1 year savings or anything like that. The look forward is very favorable as well. And then really there's just a lot of notes on here talking about what we've all talked about at our last 6-7 meetings, so I'm gonna need to go through that again.
Any questions from the committee?
Mr. Chair, Alderman Weigel, just so I got this straight, so currently a retiree is paying $372 a month, and under the new plan, they'd be paying call it $240 a month. So they'll save $132 the very first month and every month after that for the first year.
Correct,
For
for
the
the
first
first year and a
18
half.
months.
First year and a half. The downside is their co-pays on some of their drugs are gonna go up. That's the downside of it.
Correct.
And of course, there's all the other stuff, but that's the big picture, the headline.
All right. Any other questions from the committee? How do we want to proceed? Do we want to take action? Do we want to hold this for later?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
The
Ms. Grill.
action will need to be taken at the recess meeting on the resolution. I mean, I'm not sure what you wanna do with the communication. You could certainly hold it till that time or place it on file. Either would be a.
Sure. Thanks. Yeah, we'll do both at the recess meeting then. We'll take it up then. Alderman Barzak.
Can you just go over real quickly the savings to the city per year for the taxpayers of the city of West Allis?
Sure.
What the
Please.
savings would be if we went to this?
Peggy's ready to go.
Sure.
Have at it.
So as we discussed, the premiums for the retirees, $1,585 a month, as well as the city, that saves the city and the retirees collectively as a group $616,736 on an annual basis. In addition to that, right now, netted, our premiums are not covering all of our claims, so that's another $1.25 million. So overall, the retiree class together saves $616,736, and the city health insurance fund would see a positive impact of $1,468,981.
So that together is, just quick math, I don't have my, just short of 2 million?
1.5 on the city side, 617
So
on the
plus 2
retiree
million.
side.
Would save the city
Collect-
taxpayers.
No, the taxpayers would just be the 1.468 million.
Alright, thank you.
And Mr. Chair,
Alderman May.
does that include the stop loss savings?
It does.
Okay.
I have it listed on there, however, when I went back through the analysis, we're actually covering it in the fixed cost area, so I can't subtract it again. But yes, on the stop loss, it would be $96 per member per month.
Per member per month. And of course, it would also save on management.
Admin fees as well.
The retirees get one card instead of having to carry around two.
Correct.
And if I recall correctly, the network is expanded. You're no longer in the narrow network that they have right now.
Correct.
They can pretty much just about anywhere.
I believe the number was 95% of the
95% of
nationwide
all
members.
providers in the United States, as opposed to just the Aurora network that we have today.
So if you vacation in Florida,
You'll be covered.
you'd be covered, show up with the same card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else? Then thanks everybody, and then we'll move on to our next item, which is the discussion regarding pay for performance program.
Just wanted to give you a real high-level overview of where we are in the process of the pay for performance. I'm joined by Jenna Bidwell of Carlson Detman Consulting. She's been working on creating this program with us. There was a slide deck included with, I'm not going to go through each of the slides. I'm sure you all can read them and review. I'll just, basically there's two parts of the pay for performance system, the performance management and reviews, and then a pay for performance and educational achievement components. The performance reviews includes the annual review as well as goal setting and things like that with the employees and their supervisors. The exceptional performance would include rewards for two types of exceptional performance, which are the sustained exceptional performance or the one-time awards. One-time, like a project or something like that, we would be looking at rewarding people for. There's also educational achievement awards for people getting a certification or up to a doctoral degree. The details of that are on slide 38. Spot department awards. Department heads could give away for their employees if during the year at any time, such as a gift card of $25 or less, or a full day or half day of vacation. The awards that we would give for the exceptional performance would be looking at a pay increase, a bonus, accelerated movement within the pay range that they're at, additional vacation time, or any combination of above. Nominations for that would be done at least annually, obviously contingent on the budget approval by the council, and we'd be reviewing that as department heads to see whether people should be, if their nomination was warranted as exceptional performance or not. And then the allocations would be done through the mayor, the council president, and myself. Right now, we're just communicating all of this ideas to department heads and to the council and different committees so we can elicit feedback from people on whether we should make some adjustments to the program or something. So this is that was pretty brief. I don't know if you have anything to add, but basically I'm just if you have a question about a specific portion of it, I can address that, or we can discuss. I would like to actually bring, hopefully to the committee by April 9th, actual policies and procedures, and look to have them reviewed by the April 17th council meeting. So, but I just don't want to go too far if we need to adjust based on committee's feedback.
Great, yeah, looks good. What other cities have implemented a pay for performance program like this, either through Carlson Detman, or we don't want to be always the first one. Sometimes that's good, but we're not reinventing the wheel here, right?
No, not at all. So there's different approaches to pay for performance. Your approach using the combo plan that you have is a bit more conservative than kind of jumping to that full. City of Appleton is one of those out there that has a full pay for performance system in place, open range, and have been working through that for the past several years. And so we've kind of taken some of the lessons learned there and some of the challenges with that and tried to help build a system that is adaptable here, but it's also going to meet the needs of being able to provide feedback to your employees as well as not have that administrative burden. Nobody likes to do those annual reviews. and they can just be time consuming. And so we tried to build a couple of different tools, varying different levels within the organization to accommodate that, to still be able to provide adequate feedback, but then also not have that heavy time commitment too. So those were the types of things that went into some of the discussions around building the tools and processes in place.
Alderman May.
So we talked about this, there would be some sort of app that someone could have on their phone.
Yeah.
And so the employees and the employers would both be, the employees and the supervisors could all go on and manage and communicate through there. Will that still be happening
Yes.
with all of this?
Yep. So NeoGov has their Perform platform. That's their performance management solution. And so we've been working with them over the past couple of months to build the tools right in Perform. And so we were actually just talking about the rollout of the training for both supervisors as well as the employees to get everybody on that, familiar with it, and comfortable to utilize that moving forward.
And can you remind us again what the plan is moving forward? I thought at first it was to get this higher level
So
supervisor and department heads going first, and then unveil it through next year.
So that was the way that we started out the program, but now we're trying to implement it
All at once.
for everyone all at once, yes. So we'll be doing training with department heads and supervisors and employees in the next couple months to roll that out. So the department heads will not be part of the exceptional performance, that their exceptional performance would be part of their annual performance review, unless that's the way it's currently set up, so.
Okay. Anything else on this issue?
Mr. Chair.
Alderman Michael.
And the timeline is, we're looking at kind of June? Is
We're
that,
trying to do June 3rd as like a baseline restart, so everyone, because we were still developing the pay for performance program at the beginning of this year, we didn't have anything in place. Everyone that's on the salary schedule got the 1% cost of living increase. So June 3rd, we're using as a baseline to set the expectations and understanding of where people should be, what goals they should be setting in the next year. And then the people who are in the steps on the salary schedule, they would be able to move up to the next step, but other people would be just working on their goals and things for the next year.
so we're talking about then, not July 1, but really January 1. When you say next
Right.
year, you mean January 1, where it'll be,
Over the next
so it'll
year.
be fully implemented within the months between July 1 and January 1.
Well, the year we'd be looking at reviewing people would be from June 3rd till June 2nd.
Okay.
So, but the cost of living, if there was one in the budget next year, that would probably take place on January 1,
okay.
if they were being at a performing level. And the difference with this plan that I didn't really focus on too much is the performance review process is basically, are you performing or not performing? It's not, are you a really good employee, are you a good employee, or your average employee? The performance review process is, are you good, or you need some help, we need to work with you. And the exceptional people are taken in this other process, and through the nominations and things like that. We've had some challenges where people are not really rating accurately because they think everyone should either get a 3 or a 5 or 4, or, just, I think we called it the halo effect in there. So everyone's average before was a 4.2. So that's really, I don't know.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. I don't know how accurate that for some people it probably was. I don't think across the board it was. So we're just trying to really calibrate what the expectations are of the employees, and not just, pay people for breathing more breaths here. So
Alderman May.
Just to make sure I got it right, we're getting rid of the 5-point scale then.
it would be a 3-point
3-point scale now. And if one department gives all 5s, another one gives all 1s, there's supposed to be some sort of feedback loop, if I remember. Supervisor could say, you get a 1, but then the next person above them say, no, you get a 2.5, 3, and then the next person above. That all works itself out.
Yeah, so the NeoGov Perform allows that, like the supervisor above to review, you set up the structure based on the departments and things like that. Another thing that we are able to work in is type of 360 review where we could have people's customers or their other people that they work with in the city send feedback that can be considered as part of the performance review. One of the pretty nice things about NeoGov Perform is you can just do the feedback on the go. You don't actually have to go into the software solution. Each time you want to say something about an employee, you can put an email and you just put their name in the subject line, and it goes, and you send it to the Perform, and it'll go right into their record, which is really nice for those of us that can't always be sitting at a computer typing. That if you just think of something as you're on the go.
So one of the things I remember the employees wanted was a way to be able to have feedback on their supervisor. Would they be able to do that through the system?
That's where we would use the
email
the
system?
360.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, anything else?
And the buck stops where on that? Is that all, except for police and fire, does that all end up in your hand then?
Oh, for the
Final decision making, yours, the mayor's, and the council president, if I recall correctly?
that would be for the exceptional performance. So for the performance reviews, I'll be working with human resources, so we can, if everyone in one department is all performing all the time in every single part, and they don't have any goals, and they, we're gonna have to talk
Step
to
in
that
and-
department head, and then when we do their performance reviews, I'll be doing those with the committee chair of the department that they liaison to. We'll have to discuss that as part of their performance, because it only works if if everyone's actively engaged in that. So that's why it's important for us to have the training on it too, of how to give and receive feedback, because some people are not used to either of those things.
Okay. Anything else? All right, thank you. And then moving on, the 2017 Mediation Center Summary Report. Who wants to tell us about that?
I would, except I didn't bring the paperwork, so
Sure.
I don't know.
I don't think
if
I
you
have it in here. No. Maybe we can save that
You
for the
wanna hold
recess
it?
meeting or hold it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've neglected to print that out. I
Let me send
apologize.
an email to NeoGov right now.
Please do.
All right, then moving on, then we have 2 closed session items. Please take notice that the Administration and Finance Committee of the City of West Allis will meet at approximately 6 p.m. or as soon thereafter as time permits today at City Hall in West Allis to vote on a motion and convene in closed session at said time and place to discuss the collective bargaining matters with the West Allis Firefighters Union and to discuss an employee's equal rights division discrimination complaint, and may take such further action as may be necessary and appropriate with respect to such matters. A closed session for the above purpose is authorized pursuant to the provisions of Wisconsin Statute Section 19.85 1CNG. We have a motion from Alderman Weigel.
Second.
And a second from Alderman Chaplesky, and I'll take a roll call vote. Alderman Root. Aye. And Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Chaplesky.
Aye.
Alderman Weigel.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. And we are in closed session.